The second book of Pistis Sophia, chapter 63. John also came forward and said, O Lord, bid me also speak the solution of the words which thy light power hath prophesied aforetime through David. And Jesus answered and said unto John, To thee too, John, I give commandment to speak the solution of the words which my light power hath prophesied through David. 10. Grace and truth met together, and righteousness and peace kissed each other. 11. Truth hath sprouted forth out of the earth, and righteousness looked down from heaven. John further interprets the same scripture. And John answered and said, This is the word which thou hast said unto us aforetime. I have come out of the heights, and entered into Sabaoth, the good, and embraced the light power in him. Now therefore, grace and truth, which met together, thou art grace, thou who art sent out of the regions of the height to thy Father, the first mystery, which looketh within, in that he hath sent thee, that thou mayest have mercy on the whole world. Truth, on the other hand, is the power of the Sabaoth, the good, which bound itself in thee, and which thou hast cast forth to the left, thou the first mystery which looketh without. And the little Sabaoth, the good, took it and cast it forth into the matter of Barbello, and he made proclamation concerning the regions of truth to all the regions of those of the left. That matter of Barbello, then, it is which is body for thee today. And righteousness and peace, which kissed each other. Righteousness, then art thou who didst bring all the mysteries through thy Father, the first mystery which looketh within, and hast baptized this power of Sabaoth the good. And thou didst go to the region of the rulers, and didst give unto them the mysteries of the height. They became righteous and good. Peace, on the other hand, is the power of Sabaoth, that is thy soul, which did enter into the matter of Barbello, and all the rulers of the 6 eons of Yabroth have made peace with the mystery of the light. And truth, which sprouted forth out of the earth, it is the power of Sabaoth the good, which came out of the region of the right, which lieth outside the treasury of the light, and which hath come into the region of those of the left. It hath entered into the matter of Barbello, and hath made proclamation concerning the mysteries of the region of truth. Righteousness, on the other hand, which looked down from heaven, is thou the first mystery which looked down without. As thou didst come out of the spaces of the height with the mysteries of the light kingdom, and thou didst come down upon the light vesture, which thou didst receive from the hand of Barbello, which vesture is Jesus our Saviour, and that thou didst come down upon him as a dove. It came to pass then, when John had brought forward these words, that the first mystery which looketh without said unto him, Well said, John, beloved brother. Chapter 64. Gabriel and Michael are summoned to help Pistis Sophia. The first mystery again continued and said, It came to pass, therefore, that the power which had come out of the height, that is I, in that my Father sent me to save Pistis Sophia out of the chaos, that I, therefore, and also the power which did go from me, and the soul which I had received from Sabaoth the good, they drew towards one another and became a single light stream, which shone very exceedingly. I called down Gabriel and Michael out of the eons, at the command of my Father, the first mystery which looketh within. And I gave unto them the light stream, and let them go down into the chaos to help Pistis Sophia, and to take the light powers, which the emanation of the self-willed had taken from her, from them, and gave them to Pistis Sophia. And straightway, when they had brought down the light stream into the chaos, it shone most exceedingly in the whole of the chaos, and spread itself over all their regions. And when the emanations of self-will had seen the great light of that stream, they were terror-stricken one with the other. And that stream drew forth out of them all the light powers which they had taken from Pistis Sophia, and the emanations of self-will could not dare to lay hold of the light stream in the dark chaos, nor could they lay hold of it with the art of self-willed, who ruleth over the emanations. And Gabriel and Michael led the light stream over the body of the matter of Pistis Sophia, and poured into her all the light powers which they had taken from her. And the body of her matter became shining throughout, and all the powers also in her, whose light they had taken away, took light and ceased to lack their light, for they got their light which had been taken from them, because the light was given them through me. And Michael and Gabriel, who ministered and had brought the light stream into the chaos, will give them the mysteries of the light. It is they to whom the light stream was entrusted, which I have given unto them and brought into the chaos. And Michael and Gabriel have taken no light for themselves from the lights of Sophia, which had been taken from the emanations of the self-willed. It came to pass then, when the light stream had ingathered into Pistis Sophia all her light powers, which it had taken from the emanations of self-willed, that she became shining throughout, and the light powers also in Pistis Sophia, which the emanations of self-willed had not taken, became joyful again, and filled themselves with light. And the lights which were poured into Pistis Sophia quickened the body in her matter, in which no light was present, and which was on the point of perishing or perished. And they raised up all her powers which were on the point of being dissolved. And they took unto themselves a light power, and became again as they were before, and they increased again in their sense of the light. And all the light powers of Sophia knew themselves mutually through my light stream, and were saved through the light of that stream. And my light stream, when it had taken away the lights from the emanations of self-willed, which they had taken away from Pistis Sophia, poured them into Pistis Sophia, and turned itself about and went up out of the chaos. When then the first mystery said this to the disciples, that it had befallen Pistis Sophia in the chaos, he answered and said unto them, Understand ye in what manner I discourse with you. Chapter 65. Peter interpreteth the narrative from the Odes of Solomon. Peter came forward and said, My Lord, concerning the solution of the word which thou hast spoken, thus hath thy light power prophesied aforetime through Solomon in his Odes. 1. A stream came forth and became a great wide flood. 2. It tore away all to itself and turned itself against the temple. 3. Dams and buildings could not hold it, nor could the art of them who hold the waters. 4. It was led over the whole land and laid hold of all. 5. They were on the dry sand, drank their thirst was quieted and quenched, when the draught from the hand of the highest was given. 6. Blessed are the ministers of that draught, to whom the water of the Lord is entrusted. 7. They have refreshed parched lips, they whose power was taken away, have gotten joy of heart, and they have laid hold of souls, having poured in the breath, so that they should not die. 8. They have raised up limbs which were fallen, they have given power to their openness and light unto their eyes. 9. For they have all known themselves in the Lord, and are saved through the water of life eternal. Hearken therefore, my Lord, that I may set forth the word in openness, as thy power hath prophesied through Solomon. A stream came forth and became a great wide flood. This is, the light stream hath spread itself out in the chaos over all the regions of the emanations of self-willed. And again the word which thy power hath spoken through Solomon. It tore away all to itself and led it over the temple. That is, it drew all the light powers out of the emanations of self-willed, which they had taken from Pistis Sophia, and poured them anew into Pistis Sophia. And again the word thy power hath spoken. The dams and buildings could not hold it. That is, the emanation of self-willed could not hold the light stream within the walls of the darkness of the chaos. And again the word which it had spoken. It was led over the whole land and filled all. That is, when Gabriel and Michael had led it over the body of Pistis Sophia, they poured into her all the light which the emanation of self-will had taken from her, and the body of her matter shone. And the word which it hath spoken, they who were in the dry sand drank. That is, all in Pistis Sophia, whose light had before been taken away, got light. And the word which it hath spoken, their thirst was quieted and quenched. That is, her powers ceased to lack the light, because their light, which had been taken from them, was given them again. And again, as thy power hath spoken. The drought through the highest was given them. That is, the light was given unto them through the light stream, which came forth out of thee, the first mystery. And as thy power hath spoken, blessed are the ministers of that drought. This is the word which thou hast spoken. Michael and Gabriel, who have ministered, have brought the light stream into the chaos, and also led it forth again. They will give them the mysteries of the light of the height, they to whom the light stream is entrusted. And again, as thy power hath spoken, they have refreshed parched lips, that is, Gabriel and Michael, have not taken for themselves from the lights of Pistis Sophia, which they had spoiled from the emanations of the self-willed, but they have poured them into Pistis Sophia. And again, the word which it hath spoken. They whose power was taken away have gotten joy of heart, that is, all the other powers of Pistis Sophia, which the emanations of self-willed have not taken, are become exceedingly merry, and have filled themselves with light from their light fellows, for these have poured it into them. And the word which the power hath spoken, they have quickened souls, having poured in the breath, so that they should not die. That is, when they had poured the light into Pistis Sophia, they quickened the body of her matter, from which they had before taken its light, and which was on the point of perishing. And again the word which thy power hath spoken. They have raised up limbs which were fallen, or that they should not fall. That is, when they poured into her her lights, they raised up all her powers which were on the point of being dissolved. And again, as thy light power hath spoken, they have received again their light, and have become as they were before. And again the word which it hath spoken. They have given light unto their eyes, that is, they have received sense in the light, and known the light stream that it belongeth to the height. And again the word which it hath spoken. They all have known themselves in the Lord, that is, all the powers of Pistis Sophia have known one another through the light stream. And again the word which it hath spoken. They are saved through water of life eternal, that is, they are saved through the whole light stream. And again the word which it hath spoken. The light stream tore all to itself and drew it over the temple. That is, when the light stream had taken all the light powers of Pistis Sophia, and had spoiled them from the emanations of self-willed, it poured them into Pistis Sophia, and turned itself about, and went out of the chaos, and came over thee, thou who art the temple. This is a solution of all the words which thy light power hath spoken through the odes of Solomon. It came to pass then, when the first mystery had heard Peter speak these words, that he said unto him, Well said, blessed Peter, this is the solution of the words which have been spoken. Chapter 66. The emanations of self-willed cry aloud to him for help. And the first mystery continued again in the discourse, and said, It came to pass then, before I had let forth Pistis Sophia out of the chaos, because it was not yet commanded me through my Father, the first mystery which looketh within. At that time then, after the emanation of self-willed had perceived that my light stream had taken from them the light powers which they had taken from Pistis Sophia, and had poured them into Pistis Sophia, and when they again had seen Pistis Sophia, that she shone as she had done before the beginning, that they were enraged against Pistis Sophia, and cried out again to their self-willed that he should come and help them, so that they might take away the powers in Pistis Sophia anew. And self-willed sent out of the height, out of the 13th aeon, and sent another great light power. It came down into the chaos as a flying arrow, that he might help his emanation, so that they might take away the light powers from Pistis Sophia anew. And when the light power had come down, the emanation of self-willed, which were in the chaos and oppressed Pistis Sophia, took great courage and again pursued Pistis Sophia with great terror and great alarm. And some of the emanations of self-will oppressed her. One of them changed itself into the form of a great serpent. Another again changed itself into the form of a seven-headed basilisk. Another again changed itself into the form of a dragon. And moreover the first power of self-willed, the lion face, and all his other very numerous emanations, They came together and oppressed Pistis Sophia, and led her again into the lower regions of the chaos, and alarmed her again exceedingly. It came to pass then that there looked down out of the 12 eons Adamas the tyrant, who also was wroth with Pistis Sophia, because she desired to go to the light of lights, which was above them all. Therefore was he wroth with her. It came to pass then, when Adamas the tyrant had looked down out of the 12 eons, that he saw the emanations of self-willed oppressing Pistis Sophia, until they should take from her all her light. It came to pass then, when the power of Adamas had come down into the chaos unto all the emanations of self-willed. It came to pass then, when that demon came down into the chaos, that it dashed down Pistis Sophia, and the lion-faced power, and the serpent form, and the basilisk form, and the dragon form, and all the other very numerous emanations of self-willed surrounded Pistis Sophia altogether, desiring to take from her anew her powers in her. And they oppressed Pistis Sophia exceedingly, and threatened her. It came to pass then, when they oppressed her and alarmed her exceedingly, that she cried again to the light, and sang praises, saying, 1. O light, it is thou who hast helped me. Let thy light come over me. 2. For thou art my protector, and I come hence unto thee, O light, having faith in thee, O light. 3. For thou art my Saviour from the emanation of self-willed, and of Adamas the tyrant, and thou shalt save me from all his violent threats. And when Pistis Sophia had said this, then at the commandment of my Father, the first mystery which looketh within, I sent again Gabriel and Michael, and the great light stream, that they should help Pistis Sophia. And I gave commandment unto Gabriel and Michael to bear Pistis Sophia in their hands, so that her feet should not touch the darkness below. And I gave them commandment, moreover, to guide her in the regions of the chaos, out of which she was to be led. It came to pass then, when the angels had come down into the chaos, they in the light stream, and moreover, when all the emanations of self-willed, and the emanations of Adamas had seen the light stream, how it shone very exceedingly, and there was no measure for the light about it, that they became terror-stricken, and quitted Pistis Sophia. And the great light stream surrounded Pistis Sophia on all sides of her, on her left and on her right, and on all her sides, and it became a light wreath around her head. It came to pass then, when the light stream had surrounded Pistis Sophia, that she took great courage, and it ceased not to surround her on all sides, and she was no longer in fear of the emanations of self-willed, which were in the chaos, nor was she any more in fear of the other new power of self-willed, which she had cast down into the chaos as a flying arrow, nor did she have any more tremble at the demon power of Adamas, which had come out of the eons. And moreover, by the commandment of myself, the first mystery which looketh without, the light stream which surrounded Pistis Sophia on all her sides, shone most exceedingly, and Pistis Sophia abode in the midst of the light, a great light being on her left and on her right, and on all her sides forming a wreath around her head. And all the emanations of self-willed could not change their face again, nor could they bear the shock of the great light of the stream, which was a wreath around her head. And all the emanations of self-willed, many of them fell at her right, because she shone most exceedingly, and many others fell at her left, and were not able at all to draw nigh unto Pistis Sophia because of the great light. But they fell all one on another, or they all came near one another, and they could not inflict any ill on Pistis Sophia, because she had trusted in the light. And at the commandment of my Father, the first mystery which looketh within, I myself went down into the chaos, shining most exceedingly, and approached the lion-faced power which shone exceedingly, and took its whole light in it, and held fast all the emanations of self-willed, so that from now on they went not into their region, that is, the 13th eon. And I took away the power of all the emanations of self-willed, and they all fell down in the chaos powerless. And I led forth Pistis Sophia, she being on the right of Gabriel and Michael. And the great light stream entered again into her. And Pistis Sophia beheld with her eyes her foes, that I had taken their light power from them. And I led Pistis Sophia forth from the chaos, she treading underfoot the serpent-faced emanation of self-willed, and moreover treading underfoot the seven-faced basilic emanation, and treading underfoot the lion and dragon-faced power. I made Pistis Sophia continue to stand upon the seven-headed basilisk emanation of self-willed, and it was more mighty than them all in its evil doing. And I, the first mystery, stood by it, and took all the powers in it, and made to perish its whole matter, so that no seed should arise from it from now on. Chapter 67. And when the first mystery said this unto his disciples, he answered and said, Understand ye in what manner I discourse with you? James came forward and said, My Lord, concerning then the solution of the words which thou hast said, thou hast thy light power prophesied therein aforetime through David in the 19th Psalm. 1. Whoso then dwelleth under the help of the Most High will abide under the shadow of the God of heaven. 2. He will say unto the Lord, Thou art my succor and my place of refuge, my God in whom I trust. 3. For he will save me out of the snare of the hunters and from thy mighty word. 4. He will shade thee with his breast, and thou shalt have trust beneath his wings. His truth shall surround thee as a shield. 5. Thou wilt not be afraid of terror by night, nor of any arrow which flieth by day. 6. Of a thing which slinketh in the darkness, of a mischance and a demon at midday. 7. 1,000 will fall on thy left, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but they shall not come nigh thee. 8. Nay, rather with thine eyes wilt thou behold, thou wilt see the requital of the sinners. 9. For thou, O Lord, art my hope. Thou hast established the Most High for thyself as a refuge. 10. Harm will not come nigh unto thee. Scourge will not come nigh thy dwelling. 11. For he will give commandment to his angels on thy behalf, that they guard thee on all thy ways. 12. And bear thee on thy hands, that thou mayest never strike with thy foot against a stone. 13. Thou wilt stride over the serpent and basilisk, and tread on lion and dragon. 14. Because he hath trusted in me, I will save him. I will overshadow him, because he hath known my name. 15. He will cry unto me, and I shall hearken unto him. I am at his side in his tribulation, and will save him and honor him. 16. And increase him with many days, and show him my salvation. This, my Lord, is a solution of the words which thou hast said. Hearken therefore, that I may say it in openness. The word then which thy power hath spoken through David, Whoso then dwelleth under the help of the Most High will abide under the shadow of the God of heaven. That is, when Sophia had trusted in the light, she abode under the light of the light stream, which through thee came out of the height. And the word which thy power hath spoken through David, I will say unto the Lord, Thou art my succour and my refuge, my God, in whom I trust. It is the word which with Pistis Sophia hath sung praises. Thou art my succour, and I come unto thee. And again the word which thy power hath spoken, My God, in whom I trust. Thou wilt save me out of the snare of the hunters and from mighty word. It is what Pistis Sophia hath said. O light, I have faith in thee. For thou wilt save me from the emanations of self-willed, and from those of Adamus the tyrant, and thou wilt save me also from all thy mighty threats. And again the word which thy power hath spoken through David, He will shade thee with his breast, and thou wilt have trust beneath his wings. That is, Pistis Sophia hath been in the light of the light stream, which had come from thee, and hath continued in firm trust in the light, that on her left and that on her right, which are the wings of the light stream. And the word which thy light power hath prophesied through David, truth will surround thee as a shield. It is the light of the light stream which hath surrounded Pistis Sophia on all her sides as a shield. And the word which thy power hath spoken, He will not be afraid of terror by night. That is, Pistis Sophia hath not been afraid of the terrors and alarms into which she had been planted in the chaos which is the night. And the word which thy power hath spoken, he will not be afraid of an arrow which flieth by day. That is, Pistis Sophia hath not been afraid of the power which self-willed hath sent last of all out of the height, and which hath come into the chaos as it were a flying arrow. Thy light power therefore hath said, Thou wilt not be afraid of an arrow which flieth by day. For that power which come out of the 13th aeon, it being that which is Lord over the 12 aeons, and which giveth light unto all aeons, wherefore hath he David said day. And again the word which thy power hath spoken, he will not be afraid of a thing which slinketh in the darkness. That is, Sophia hath not been afraid of the lion-faced emanation, which caused fear for Pistis Sophia in the chaos, which is the darkness. And the word which thy power hath spoken, he will not be afraid of a mischance and of a demon at midday. That is, Pistis Sophia hath not been afraid of the demon emanation of tyrant Adamas, which hath cast Pistis Sophia to the ground in a great mischance, and of which hath come forth out of Adamas out of the 12th aeon. Wherefore then hath thy power said, He will not be afraid of the demon mischance at midday. Midday, because it hath come out of the 12 aeons, which is midday, and again night, because it hath come out of the chaos, which is the night, and because it hath come of the 12th aeon, which is in the midst between both. Therefore hath the light power said, midday, because the 12 aeons lie in the midst between the 13th aeon and the chaos. And again the word which thy light power hath spoken through David, 1,000 will fall on his left, and 10,000 at his right hand, but they shall not come nigh him. That is, when the emanations of self-willed, which are exceedingly numerous, could not bear the great light of the light stream, many of them fell on the left hand of Pistis Sophia, and many at her right, and they could not come nigh her to do her harm. And the word which thy light power hath spoken through David, nay rather with thine eyes wilt thou behold, and wilt see the requital of the sinners. For thou, O Lord, art my hope. That is the word. Pistis Sophia hath with her eyes beheld her foes, that is, the emanations of self-willed, who all have fallen one after another. Not only hath she with her eyes beheld this, but thou also thyself, my Lord, the first mystery, hast taken the light power which is the lion-faced power, and hast moreover taken the power of all the emanations of self-willed, and moreover thou hast imprisoned them in that chaos, so that from henceforth they have not gone forth to their own region. Therefore then hath Pistis Sophia with her eyes beheld her foes, that is, the emanations of self-willed, in all which David hath prophesied concerning Pistis Sophia, saying, Nay, rather with thine eyes wilt thou behold, and thou wilt see the requital of the sinners. Not only hath she with her eyes beheld how they fall one on another in the chaos, but she hath also seen the requital with which it was requited them, just as the emanations of self-willed have thought to take away the light of Sophia from her, so hast thou requited them, and repaid them in full, and hast taken the light power in them instead of the lights of Sophia, who hath faith in the light of the height. And as the light power hath spoken through David, thou hast established the Most High for thyself as refuge. Harm will not come nigh unto thee. Scourge will not come nigh thy dwelling. That is, when Pistis Sophia had had faith in the light and was afflicted, she sang praises unto it, and the emanations of self-will could not inflict on her any harm, nor could they injure her, nor could they at all come nigh her. And the word which thy light power hath spoken through David, he will give commandment to his angels on thy behalf, that they guard thee on all the ways and bear thee on their hands, that thou mayest never strike with thy foot against a stone. It is again thy word. Thou hast given commandment to Gabriel and Michael, that they guide Pistis Sophia in all the regions of the chaos, until they lead her forth, and that they uplift her on their hands, so that her feet do not touch the darkness beneath, and that on the other hand they of the lower darkness do not seize hold of her. And the word which the light power hath spoken through David, Thou wilt tread on the serpent and basilisk, and tread on lion and dragon, because he hath trusted in me. I will save him, and I will overshadow him, because he hath known my name. That is the word. When Pistis Sophia was on the point of coming forth out of the chaos, she trod on the emanations of self-willed, and she trod on the serpent-faced ones, and on the basilisk-faced ones, which had 7 heads. And she trod on the lion-faced power, and on the dragon-faced one. Because she had had faith in the light, is she saved from all of them. This, my Lord, is a solution of the words which thou hast spoken. Chapter 68. It came to pass then, when the first mystery had heard these words, that he said, Well said, James, beloved one. And the first mystery continued again in a discourse, and said unto his disciples, It came to pass, when I had led Pistis Sophia out of the chaos, that she cried out again and said, 1. I am saved out of the chaos, and loosed from the bounds of the darkness. I am come unto thee, O light. 2. For thou wert light on all sides of me, saving me and helping me. 3. And the emanations of self-willed, which fought against me, thou hast hindered through thy light, and they could not come nigh me, for thy light was with me and saved me through the light stream. 4. Because in sooth the emanations of self-will constrained me. They took from me my power, and cast me out into the chaos with no light in me. So I became as heavy waned matter in comparison with them. 5. And thereafter came a light stream unto me, through which they saved me. It shone on my left side and on my right, and surrounded me on all sides of me, so that no part of me was without light. 6. And thou hast covered me with the light of thy stream, and purged from me all evil matters, and I shall be relieved of all my matter because of thy light. 7. And it is thy light stream which hath raised me up and taken from me the emanations of self-will which constrain me. 8. And I have become sure trusting in thy light and purified light in thy stream. 9. And the emanations of self-willed which constrain me have withdrawn themselves from me, and I shone in thy great power, for thou savest forever. This is the repentance which Pistis Sophia hath uttered, when she came forth out of the chaos, and was freed from the bonds of the chaos. Now therefore, who hath ears to hear, let him hear. Chapter 69. It came to pass then, when the first mystery had finished saying these words unto his disciples, that Thomas came forward and said, My Lord, my light dweller hath ears, and my mind hath understood the words which thou hast said. Now therefore give commandment unto me to set forth clearly the solution of the words. And the first mystery answered and said unto Thomas, I give thee commandment to set forth the solution of the song which Pistis Sophia sang unto me. Thomas answered and said, My Lord, concerning the song which Pistis Sophia hath uttered, because she was saved out of the chaos, thy light power prophesied aforetime therein through Solomon the son of David in his odes. 1. I am saved from the bonds, and am fled unto thee, O Lord. 2. For thou hast been on my right hand, saving me and helping me. 3. Thou hast hindered my adversaries, and they have not been revealed, because thy face was with me, saving me in thy grace. 4. I was despised in the sight of many, and cast out. I have become as lead in their sight. 5. Through thee I have gotten a power which helped me, for thou hast set lamps on my right and my left, so that no side of me may be without light. 6. Thou hast overshadowed me with the shadow of thy grace, and I was relieved of the coats of skin. 7. It is thy right hand which hath raised me up, and thou hast taken the sickness from me. 8. I have become powerful in thy truth and purified in thy righteousness. 9. My adversaries have withdrawn themselves from me, and I am justified by thy goodness, for thy rest endureth unto all eternity. This then, my Lord, is the solution of the repentance which Pistis Sophia hath uttered when she was saved out of the chaos. Hearken therefore, that I may say it in openness. The word then, which thy light power hath spoken through Solomon, I am saved from the bonds, and am fled unto thee, O Lord. It is the word which Pistis Sophia hath spoken. I am loosed from the bonds of darkness, and have come unto thee, O light. And the word which thy power hath spoken, thou wert on my right hand, saving and helping me. It is again the word which Pistis Sophia hath spoken. Thou art becoming a light on all sides of me, saving me and helping me. And the word which thy light power hath spoken, thou hast hindered my adversaries, and they have not been revealed. It is the word which Pistis Sophia hath spoken. And the emanations of self-willed which fought against me, thou hast hindered through the light, and they could not come nigh me. And the word which thy power hath spoken, thy face was with me, saving me in thy grace. It is the word which Pistis Sophia hath spoken. Thy light was with me, saving me in thy light stream. And the word which thy power hath spoken, I was despised in the sight of many and cast out. It is the word which Pistis Sophia hath spoken. The emanations of self-will constrained me, and took my power from me. And I have been despised before them, and cast out into the chaos, with no light in me. And the word which thy power hath spoken, I have become as lead in their sight. It is the word which Pistis Sophia hath spoken. When they had taken my light from me, I became as a heavy weighing matter before them. And moreover the word which thy power hath spoken, through thee I have gotten power for me, which helped me. It is again the word which Pistis Sophia had spoken. And thereafter came a light power unto me through thee, which saved me. And the word which thy power hath spoken, thou hast set lamps on my right and on my left, so that no side of me may be without light. It is the word which Pistis Sophia hath spoken. Thy power shone on my right and on my left, and surrounded me on all sides of me, so that no part of me was without light. And the word which thy power hath spoken, thou hast overshadowed me with the shadow of thy grace. It is again the word which Pistis Sophia hath spoken. And thou hast covered me with the light of the stream. And the word which thy power hath spoken, I was relieved of the coats of skin. It is again the word which Pistis Sophia hath spoken. And they have purified me of all my evil matters, and I raised myself above them in the light. And the word which the power hath spoken through Solomon, it is thy right hand which hath raised me up, and hath taken the sickness from me. It is the word which Pistis Sophia had spoken. And it is thy light stream which hath raised me up in thy light, and hath taken from me the emanation of self-willed which constrained me. And the word which thy power hath spoken, I have become powerful in thy truth and purified in thy righteousness. It is the word which Pistis Sophia had spoken. I have become powerful in thy light and purified light in thy stream. And the word which thy power hath spoken, my adversaries have withdrawn themselves from me. It is the word which Pistis Sophia hath spoken. The emanation of self-willed which constrained me have withdrawn themselves from me. And the word which thy power hath spoken through Solomon, and I am justified in thy goodness, for thy rest endureth unto all eternity. It is the word which Pistis Sophia hath spoken. I am saved in thy goodness, for thou savest every one. This then, O my Lord, is the whole solution of the repentance of Pistis Sophia hath uttered, when she was saved out of the chaos and loosed from the bonds of the darkness. Chapter 70. It came to pass then, when the first mystery had heard Thomas say these words, that he said unto him, Well said, finally, Thomas, blessed one. This is the solution of the song which Pistis Sophia hath uttered. And the first mystery continued again, and said unto the disciples, And Pistis Sophia continued, and sang praises unto me, saying, 1. I sing a song unto thee. Through thy commandment hast thou led me down out of the higher aeon which is above, and hast led me up to the regions which are below. 2. And again, through thy commandment, thou hast saved me out of the regions which are below, and through thee hast thou taken there the matter in my light power, and I have seen it. 3. And thou hast scattered far from me the emanation of self-willed, which constrained me and were hostile to me, and hast bestowed power on me to loose myself from the bonds of the emanations of Adamus. 4. And thou hast smitten the basilisk with the 7 heads, and cast it out with my hands, and hast set me above its matter. Thou hast destroyed it, so that its seed may not raise itself up from now on. 5. And thou wert with me, giving me power in all of this, and thy light surrounded me in all regions, and through thee hast made all the emanations of self-will powerless. 6. For thou hast taken the power of their light from them, and made straight my way to lead me out of the chaos. 7. And thou hast removed me from the material darkness, and taken from them all my powers, from which the light had been taken. 8. Thou hast put into them purified light unto all my limbs, in which was no light. Thou hast given purified light from the light of the height. 9. And thou hast made straight the way for them, and the light of thy faith hath become for me life indestructible. 10. Thou hast led me forth above the chaos, the region of chaos and extermination, in order that all the matters in it which are in that region might be unloosed, and all my power be renewed in thy light, and thy light be in all them. 11. Thou hast deposited the light of thy stream in me, and I am become purified light. This again is the second song which Pistis Sophia hath uttered. Who then hath understood this repentance? Let him come forward and speak it. Chapter 71. It came to pass then, when the first mystery had finished saying these words, that Matthew came forward and said, I have understood the solution of the song which Pistis Sophia hath uttered. Now therefore give commandment unto me, that I speak it in openness. And the first mystery answered and said, I give commandment unto thee, Matthew, to set forth the interpretation of the song which Pistis Sophia hath uttered. And Matthew answered and said, concerning the interpretation of the song which Pistis Sophia hath uttered, thus thy light power prophesied aforetime therein through the ode of Solomon. 1. He who hath led me down out of the higher regions which are above, hath led me up out of the regions which are in the bottom below. 2. Who hath there taken those in the midst, he hath taught me concerning them. 3. Who hath scattered my foes and my adversaries, he hath bestowed power on me over the bonds to unloose them. 4. Who hath smitten the serpent with the 7 heads with my hands, he hath set me up above its root, that I may extinguish its seed. 5. And thou wert with me, helping me, in all regions thy name surrounded me. 6. Thy right hand hath destroyed the venom of the slanderer, thy hand hath cleared the way for the faithful. 7. Thou hast freed them out of the tombs, and hast removed them from the midst of the corpse. 8. Thou hast taken dead bones, and hast clothed them with a body, and to them who stirred not hast thou given the activity of life. 9. Thy way is become indestructibleness, and thy face also. 10. Thou hast led thy aeon above decay, so that they all may be loosed and renewed, and thy light become a foundation for them all. 11. Thou hast piled thy riches upon them, and they have become a holy dwelling place. This then, my Lord, is a solution of the song which Pistis Sophia hath uttered. Hearken therefore, that I may say it in openness. The word which thy power hath spoken through Solomon, who hath led me down out of the high regions which are above, he hath also led me up out of the regions which are in the bottom below. It is the word which Pistis Sophia hath spoken. I sing praises unto thee. Through thy commandment hast thou led me down out of this higher aeon which is above, and hast led me to the regions below. And again, through thy commandment, thou hast saved me, and led me up out of the regions which are below. In the word which thy power hath spoken through Solomon, who hath there taken these in the midst, and hath taught me concerning them. It is the word which Pistis Sophia hath spoken. And again, through the commandment hast thou caused the matter in the midst of my power to be purified, and I have seen it. And moreover, the word which thy power hath spoken through Solomon, who hath scattered my foes and my adversaries, it is the word which Pistis Sophia hath spoken. Thou hast scattered far from me all the emanations of self-willed, which constrained me and were hostile to me. And the word which thy power hath spoken, who hath bestowed on me wisdom over the bonds, to unloose them, It is the word which Pistis Sophia hath spoken. And he hath bestowed on me wisdom to loose myself from the bonds of these emanations. And the words which the power hath spoken, who hath smitten the serpent with the 7 heads with my hands, he hath set me up above its root, that I may extinguish its seed. It is the word which Pistis Sophia hath spoken. And thou hast smitten the serpent with the 7 heads through my hands, and set me up above its matter. Thou hast destroyed it, so that its seed may not raise up itself again from now on. And the word which thy power hath spoken, and thou wert with me, helping me, it is the word which Pistis Sophia hath spoken. And thou wert with me, giving me power in all this. And thy word which thy power hath spoken, and thy name surrounded me in all regions, it is the word which Pistis Sophia hath spoken. And thy light surrounded me in all thy regions, and the word which thy power hath spoken. And thy right hand hath destroyed the venom of the slanderers. It is the word which Pistis Sophia hath spoken. And through thee the emanations of self-willed became powerless, for thou hast taken from them the light of their power. And the word which thy power hath spoken, thy hand hath cleared the way for the faithful. It is the word which Pistis Sophia hath spoken. Thou hast made straight my way to lead me out of chaos, because I have had faith in thee. And the word which thy power hath spoken, thou hast freed them out of the tombs, and hast removed from them the midst of the corpses. It is the word which Pistis Sophia hath spoken. Thou hast freed me out of the chaos, and removed me out of the material darkness, that is, out of the dark emanations which are in the chaos, from which thou hast taken their light. And the word which the power hath spoken, thou hast taken dead bones, and hast clothed them with a body, and to them who stirred not, thou hast given activity of life. It is the word which Pistis Sophia hath spoken. And thou hast taken all my powers in which no light, and hast bestowed on them within purified light, and unto all my limbs, in which no light stirred, thou hast given life-light out of the height. And the word which thy power hath spoken, thy way is become indestructibleness, and thy face also. It is the word which Pistis Sophia hath spoken. And thou hast made straight thy way for me, and the light of thy face had become for me life indestructible. And the word which thy power hath spoken, thou hast led thy aeon above decay, so that all might be loosed and renewed. It is the word which Pistis Sophia hath spoken. Thou hast led me, thy power, up above the chaos, and above decay, that all the matters in that region may be loosed, and all my powers renewed in the light. And the word which the power hath spoken, and thy light hath become foundation for them all. It is the word which Pistis Sophia had spoken, and thy light hath been in them all. And the word which thy light power hath spoken through Solomon, thou hast put thy riches over them, and he hath become a holy dwelling place. It is the word which Pistis Sophia had spoken. Thou hast stayed the light of thy stream over me, and I have become a purified light. This then, my Lord, is the solution of the song which Pistis Sophia hath uttered. Chapter 72. It came to pass then, when the first mystery had heard Matthew speak these words, that he said, Well said, Matthew, and finely beloved. This is a solution of the song which Pistis Sophia hath uttered. And the first mystery continued and said, 1. I will declare, thou art the higher light, for that hast saved me and led me unto thee, and thou hast not let the emanations of self-willed, which are hostile unto me, take my light. 2. O light of lights, I sing praises unto thee, thou hast saved me. 3. O light, thou hast led me up my power out of the chaos. Thou hast saved me from them which have gone down into the darkness. These words again hath Pistis Sophia uttered. Now therefore, whose mind hath become understanding, comprehending the words which Pistis Sophia hath entered, let them come forward and set forth their solution. Mary is afraid of Peter. It came to pass then, when the first mystery had finished speaking these words unto the disciples, that Mary came forward and said, My Lord, my mind is ever understanding, at every time to come forward, and set forth the solution of the words which she had uttered. But I am afraid of Peter, because he threatened me, and hateth our sex. And when she had said this, the first mystery said unto her, Every one who shall be filled with the Spirit of light to come forward, and set forth the solution of what I say, no one shall be able to prevent him. Now therefore, O Mary, set forth then the solution of the words which Pistis Sophia hath uttered. Then Mary answered and said unto the first mystery in the midst of the disciples, My Lord, concerning the solution of the words which Pistis Sophia hath uttered, thus hath thy light power prophesied aforetime through David. 1. I will exalt thee, O Lord, for thou hast received me, and thou hast not made glad my foes over me. 2. O Lord my God, I cried up unto thee, and thou hast healed me. 3. O Lord, thou hast led up my soul out of hell. Thou hast saved me from them which have gone down into the pit.